Okay, so good morning and welcome to Mixed Ability Pilates, our Zoom class. All righty, so hope you're all well this lovely day. And we're going to be doing a slightly different type of work today, more of a contemporary twist to Pilates. Okay, so some of you who know me, I tend to teach slightly more of a classical repertoire. However, we're adding on some additional work to try and work a little bit more around the sides of our body, the lateral sides, the movement that we have towards the side of us. Okay, so you're looking at your obliques, looking at the outside of your legs, inner thighs, etc. Okay, and also a little bit to do with some rotational twists through the upper body. Okay, so a nice, hopefully mixed up class for you. We're going to start with our feet in parallel, hands down by your sides. Okay, fingertips reaching towards the floor, either side of you. That middle finger, just check in on that middle side seam of your trousers if you can. And just for a couple of moments here, we're going to just pause, regroup in our minds and focus on your body and Pilates for this next hour. Okay, so breathing in through the nose and out through the mouth, nice, easy breath. And see if you can just feel the body's response as you breathe into this upper thoracic space. Okay, there's a rib cage space and upwards towards the neck, allowing yourself to just inflate these lungs and just gently send the energy, the movement to your left and right in this upper rib cage, as opposed to by lifting the shoulders, as opposed to lifting and breathing into the belly button here. You're thinking of getting some space either side of you, stretching this body left and right. As you breathe as well, perhaps noticing also the response of your body as you inhale and lift and find some space in the vertebrae, that gentle stretching one vertebrae away from the one below as you breathe in up through the crown of the head towards the ceiling above you there. And as you exhale, go ahead and see if you can find that core just drawing in through the center. Of course, many layers of the muscles in this midsection here. We're looking to think about maybe drawing ourselves in like a corset or belt as you exhale. So the breath leaves the body and you're just pulling in the muscles, giving this spine and this midsection a bit of a hug with the muscles here below the thoracic area and just above the pelvis area-ish. And just to find a little bit more into that pelvic area, we're going to add on the pelvic floor activation. So as you exhale and you're doing that lovely shrink of the midsection, go ahead and see if you can switch on the pelvic floor area. Front and back passages, okay, drawing those in and up as you exhale. So I'll say that again, coordinate if you can the pelvic floor drawing up as you breathe out, okay, finding that shrink wrapping of the tummy and also the drawing up of the pelvic floors will give that strong sense of what we call our Pilates powerhouse, this middle section of the body, hip to hip, shoulder to shoulder. As you exhale one more time, let the air leave the body, find that core, open your eyes when you're ready and bring yourself back into the room. Okay, we're going to do a little bit of footwork to begin with. So just gently easing that left heel up and off the floor, keeping those legs in alignment if you can, rolling onto all the toes. They've not snuck to the outside with that cheeky knee, and then place the foot back down with a breath in. Exhale, lifting the right heel and place it back down. Find the full range of motion without moving this upper body. Just use this lower limb to just flow up onto the toes. And pausing this time with the left heel elevated. What I want you to do is now add on a right heel lift. And as you do the right heel coming towards the ceiling lift, you pop the left heel back down and switch so your right heel is up. So we're now going to get that bobbing sensation through the top of the head. So it's a little bit more active, a little bit more fluid. Okay, I'm going to turn to the side so you can see you're not just simply heel raising, you're trying to switch one at a time. So you've got that sense of both heels elevated, okay, at the top before you lower the alternate heel. Once you've got this bobbing up and down sorted, you're going to add in a small shoulder roll, okay? If you can, if you find that's just too many things going on, it might come quite naturally to you just to roll the shoulders. And then once you've got these legs going, just kind of trying to ignore them. Taking the shoulders and rolling the opposite way. Okay. Again, if it's just too much for you here, you can just single heel raise and roll the shoulders to join in that mobilization as well. No problem. And pausing there with both heels back down. Bringing those heels together for me. And really zip those heels together. I want that energy drawing into the midline, okay, pulling those inner thighs in together. But again, checking on that belly button, shoulder blades back and down. Well done, gorgeous. Okay, so we're going to see if we can go ahead and lift those heels off the floor, attempting to heel lift together. So the glute, the pinned, so the heels are pinned together and back down. So I don't mind if perhaps you only don't get so high. Maybe it's only a centimetre before you can't help but release those heels. So I'll try this week not to head so high, but to focus on the heels staying together. So the energy is still pulling the heels in together and down. Well done. And lifting and lowering. If you get right on the balls of the feet, then go ahead, take it into that lovely lift all the way up onto the balls of the feet. And we are going to add in. So if you find your lift, your maximum range where you think you have control, pause there. Okay, now we're going to pop our hands to our sides, ease the knees out towards the maximum range again before those heels separate, and lift your arms up towards the side. Reach those arms nice and long, shoulders back and down. As we come into our standing position, the heels stay elevated. Okay, so legs sit together into standing, and then the heels come back down and float to the floor with control. Okay, breath in, exhale, double heel raise. Send the knees to the side, gentle frog knee position, fingers out, reaching to the side of the room, and then gently release the arms by your side as you zip those legs together. Heels stay high and back down. 2 more times, lift. Find those glutes, please, guys. Find the shoulder blades, drawing them back and down behind you. Let's think about what's going on behind you there a little bit more, please, and down. Last time, again, lifting, squeeze around those glutes, knees heading out to the side. Hovering knees there, heels working super hard, and then gently releasing back down, down, down. Well done. Bring your feet back into parallel. Pop those hands into your heart space, so you're holding or hugging the side of your chest with those upper arms. Okay, again, shoulder blades back and down behind you. Okay, alrighty, so our feet are currently facing parallel. I want us to take ourselves into a small squat. Okay, so it's not a huge wide leg squat. And it's not a plie squat, so we haven't got our toes facing the corners of the mat. They're going to be facing the front, but slightly wider, probably about our mat width to the side, okay? So we're going to start to the right side when you're ready, taking your step towards the right, and then go ahead and pop the bottom as if you're heading down into a little stool behind you. Keep that belly button in, so you're not arching and sinking into a banana. Neck is nice and aligned, and then just draw yourself into standing, okay? Feet in parallel. Breathe in, exhale, again, toes facing forward and a gentle sink down into a squat, and then bring yourself back up. So you're looking to have yourself fairly equidistant between these legs, okay? So you're not looking to just squat onto the supporting leg. Try and think that bottom is heading down between the two nice and evenly. That's good, well done. And across. And to center. One more time to the right. And pause here. We're going to add on our second layer, okay? If you want to just carry on with the squatting, then that's not a problem. Otherwise, we're going to head towards the side. Okay, and as we come back up, we're going to lift our right leg slightly out towards the side, so you've got a little bit more pressure on the supporting left leg, and then come back down. Okay, so we're just going to take ourselves to the side and back down. If you want to carry on with that side step and squat, you're more than welcome. Otherwise, we're just squatting and single right leg lift and down and lift and down and lift. Well done. We've got 4 more. And 3. And 2, and final 1. Bring yourself back to center this next time with your legs in parallel. Let's head out towards the left, and now we go to the left, just single squats and back to center, just single squat wide. Again, toes facing forwards, and even distance between those knees. Gorgeous. Still thinking that belly button in, so not dumping into that lower spine. You're still thinking of a breath in. Exhale as you draw yourself back to center. Last one, and pause here. Okay, again, carry on with that simple out and in, or we're going to stay out and left leg raise. So out we head into our squat, and then we're going to bring ourselves a little bit more onto this right leg with support and lift the left leg to the side. Breathing in and exhale, and squatting back and exhale. Well done. Squeeze those glutes on the way back up. Just gently squeeze and tuck under the pelvis. We've got 4 more. And 3. And 2. And our final 1. And pause there. Bring your upper leg back to center. Gorgeous. Arms down by your sides. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and step towards the end of the mat. I don't mind which end. You're heading towards the end of the mat, facing down the short edge, hands down by your sides. Okay, so we're going to do a little bit of reverse lunge. This is not everyone's cup of tea, but I want you to really try super hard. It's a moving piece, which makes it harder, a little bit harder for the lunge. But one thing I do notice a lot of is as people lunge, okay, they take this leg and they plop it absolutely out towards the side because it creates a nice, strong, even base for us to be balanced on. We are trying to keep those legs in a line. So please notice maybe this first one or two, just have a little check where your feet are and if you're running down them parallel to these outside long edges of your mat, okay? Arms are by our side. Let's just explore here with the right leg back into a lunge, bending your left knee and your right knee. So you're just hovering that right knee down a little bit towards the mat. Check here for a moment, pause, check that back heel is towards the back of the mat and not facing towards your left side. Drive that leg back up and let's do a slow lunge back on the left leg. See how this is, breathing in, left leg heading back, bending both knees, again, both knees slightly, checking if you have to, if you can, where that left leg is it in alignment with the mat, and then bring yourself back up. Okay, first one or two, we should be in check now, breathing in. Let's go ahead and send the right leg back. And we're going to bring the arms forwards into double parallel towards the front of the mat. Drive your leg back up to start position. Breathe in, exhale back on the left. So switching from side to side. And just as with the squat, as you head back, keep that belly button in, so you're not arching and lunging back, okay? Equally, and I see a lot of this in class, people lean forwards. You're keeping the crown of the head facing towards the ceiling, folks, please. Breathing in, exhale. Okay, I'll say that one more time. The crown of the head facing towards the ceiling. Your heart space and chest should be facing directly in front of you. And you're imagining those headlights out of your chest here, directly in front of you. Not deviating, not lowering, not dipping, not raising. We're going to all pause, okay, with the right leg back. So we're going to just take a moment to regroup. If you need to do another one, then get that right leg back. And pop your hands into a prayer position, a heart space prayer position. So thumbs are on your chest space and your fingertips are facing up towards your chin. Okay. If you need to, if you feel like you've been a little bit too gangbuster and you think you've maybe just paused here too long, perhaps just lift yourself slightly out of this. We're doing some rotation. If you want to, you can lower that knee a little lower and pause. We're taking our hearts and our hands towards the right side now. So towards that right back leg, you're just going to rotate slightly and back to center. We've got 6. Okay, so this is 5. And we're counting down. This is 4. Rotation to the right, just a small, gentle rotation. Last 3. Breathe in, facing forward. Last 2. And well done. Last 1. And pause here, arms to your side and sweep that back leg up into your standing start position. Legs are wiggling if you need to. We're taking them back now to the other side. So it's the left leg driving out behind you into your lunge. Again, checking your alignment, making sure you feel comfortable where you've chosen to rest. Hands back into the heart space, thumbs to your chest, fingertips towards your chin. We're now going to rotate gently towards the left. See how it feels on this side and back to the center with a breath in. So out of 6, this is number 5. We're counting down. Breath in as you face forward. This is 4. So it's a small move. It's a controlled twist. We're not looking to get hugely behind us. We're not looking to keep on going with the arms or the neck. We're just going to take the twist from the lower spine predominantly. And this is our last one. When you come back to center, hands release down by your side and then drive back into your standing position. Okay, facing forward one more time. We're going to do a little bit of balanced lateral flexion work. If you've got a super squishy mat or your mat on carpet and you feel like that's too much, pop off now onto the floorboards or something a little bit less thin or firm. We are going to pop our feet into into tightrope. So you have, let's go ahead, actually, right foot forward. So let's go with the right foot forwards. As I said that, I realized I was different. Okay, so right legs forwards. Okay, again, guys, if you know that being in this tightrope position is a bit of a challenge, all right, you can take a slight stride forward, so a little bit split, or you can perhaps slightly step to the side. Again, it gives you a slightly broader base. Okay, challenge is up to you. All righty, hands, I'm just going to have our hands towards the side of the temples, shoulder blades back and down. Now we're going to be taking a small lateral flexion, repeating On the left side, your back leg. Okay, so we're going to head over towards the left and come back to center with a breath in, over towards the left. So again, we've got 6, so this is number 5. Breathing in. Same side, guys, same side towards this left back leg, your back leg. Zip those legs together if you can. Feel the glutes slightly active, everything pulling into the center midline of the body. Okay, well done. We've got 2 more to the left. Breathing in, last one, zip, 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 draw in that core and come back to center where we're going to switch. So releasing the hands if you need to, and again, onto the other side. So this is now left leg forwards, right leg back at the back. Again, modify if you need to, width or slight stride forwards. Hands towards the temples, breathing in. Over towards your right now, guys, towards your back leg. Okay, come back to center with a breath in. This is 5 more. Again, try and think of that sense of those inner thighs pulling in towards each other, perhaps the glutes slightly active. And that gives you, again, that sense of pulling yourself into the midline, okay, activating those deep inner trunk muscles. Okay, so that kind of what's going on the outside becomes a little bit easier. Last 2 in theory. Last 1, breathing in, exhale to the side and gently bring yourself into standing. Well done. Okay, so we're going to copy this same stride position you've got now and just slightly broaden it, okay? If you're facing down the length of the mat, all I want you to do is just take a little bit of a stride, maybe a walking kind of distance, maybe mat width, okay, fairly comfortable, not necessarily where you would stride to for the lunge, okay? So nice strong stride and balanced. Okay, hands on your hips for me. We're going to hinge forward, so keeping the belly button in, top of the head now towards the ceiling. Imagine yourself now as a pole. You're not going to articulate, you're just going to breathe in, grow the spine, lift from that lower lumbar, lift from the pelvis, and gently ease forward. You'll feel perhaps a bit of a stretch at this front leg, whichever leg you have towards the front. The back of the hamstring there is a little bit stretched. Both legs are still straight, okay? The belly is in. And then I want you to just let your arms hang, okay? Just let them hang. Try and let them feel a bit weightless. And then take a natural circle, okay? You start the circle motion happening, and then you just kind of let those hands sweep around in circles. They'll probably head away from each other, okay, in opposite directions, okay, right? So you're looking to try and let them do a natural circle. Okay, maybe heading towards the front of the mat and round, or to the back of the mat and round, depending on where you've started them heading. And they've got this pendulum feel about them, this plumb line just hanging from the shoulders. You're not trying to put them anywhere. They're just doing their thing. And then pause, pop your hands back on the hips, lift up to look at the horizon, step back and switch legs. So your other leg is forwards, a small stride forwards, both legs are straight. Breathing in, oops, grow nice and tall, and then hinging again in the hips. Feel the hamstring stretch now, the back of the thigh on this other front leg. Okay, so for me, my left. And once you've got to your maximum range forwards, okay, that hamstring will be probably your restricting factor there. Let the hands just hang. Again, this hanging from the shoulder joint. Okay, perhaps you started off with the hands swinging towards the front. So think about now switching direction and just let them kind of circle in the opposite direction. Okay. Again, you're just letting them hang, letting them be. Try not to put them anywhere in particular, letting that sense of movement, momentum, and motion just go. And just let it be. Last 2. Last 1. And then pause, bring yourself back up to standing and draw yourself to center. Okay, popping down into high kneel. Okay, so we're going to be high kneel for a little tiny bit. The start off is going to be with both knees down, then we're headed to one knee. So if you want to put cushions currently or any support under your knees, do so now. It will be under both knees to begin with. All right, so our hands are going to start across our chest. And our toes can be up or down, depending on how you feel, where you're comfortable with your toes. I think probably better, easier for us to have our toenails down if you can. Starting off our level 1 is just going to be a breath in and an exhale as we let our bottom head towards our heels and bring yourself back up. Now you're going to think about perhaps just going to your maximum range, alrighty? So if you know that you have knee issues, restrictions, complications, perhaps it's just a small half squat and then back up. It's a small little piece. Perhaps you can get your bottom all the way to the heels. So just little tiny practice, stretch over the front of the knees and then draw yourself back up. Okay, so this is our level 1. We're going to do 4 more. And 3. And 2. And we're going to pause all of us and regroup in our high kneel for a moment here. Okay, so what's going to happen now, I'm going to turn away so you can see where my bottom directs. Okay, so you can carry on with that bottom heading directly down towards your heels. Our level 2 will be sending the bottom over towards the side. So your bottom cheeks are going to head towards that back corner or your heel behind you. We're going to switch. So you head from the one side and up to our high nail start position. And then the other side, bottom heads to the side and drive back up over to the side. As I say, if this feels like it's not for your knees, if you're feeling like it's not for your hips, or again, you don't need to head so far. It could be just a gentle push of the bum to the side and back up. Yeah, so you can always modify and adapt your range of movement, the distance that you do something. Yeah, you know that, guys. Okay, we've got 4 more. And 3. Last 2. And final 1, whatever level, whatever piece you're doing, pause here. Gorgeous. So we're going to drop our arms towards the side. And can you go ahead now and take the left leg out towards the side, pausing with the left leg out. Now, if you need to, this leg can be slightly bent. Okay, if you struggle with this position to the side, you can have your toe pointing to the side corner of the mat. I don't mind. Or you can have the toe facing forwards. We are going to think about lateral flexion to begin with. All righty. We're taking our left hand, sorry, beg your pardon, our right hand here and sliding the right arm down. Yes, the right hand and arm down the side seam of the trousers to wherever you can go and bring yourself back up. Send in the left leg along that extended leg and bring yourself to center over towards the right. See how far you can go and draw yourself back up and towards the left. Try not to throw the neck over too much, okay, guys? So you're still thinking of keeping it a little bit engaged. You're not going to just dump it down. Make the movement come through here, through the waist, as opposed to the neck. Yeah, that's better. Well done. Staying in alignment if you can, imagining yourself between 2 panes of glass in the middle of a squished piece of double glazing in front and behind you. Okay, so you're staying nice and parallel. Good, that's well done. We're all going to regroup and pause now with this right hand as low as you can towards the right thigh, knee and mat. Okay, so the left arm now is going to sweep forwards towards me and then towards your temple. And we get a bit of a stretch and a reach from that left foot to left toe. We're then going to sweep it back down. So not hanging here too long, breathing in, exhale as you sweep. And that adds in that element of weight, okay, from your center as the arm sweeps over. It's a little bit heavier, feels a little bit harder to stay where you'd got to. That's it, well done. We've got 4 more. Breathing in when your hand is to your thigh. This is 3. Exhaling, arm overhead. Last 2. And this is our final 1. Well done, guys. Pop your hand back on the left thigh, draw yourself to center and draw your knee back in underneath you. Okay, we're going to head into drawing the sword. Okay, I'd like you to take your left hand and just place it down towards your left hip or thigh and look down towards that left hand towards your right hip or thigh and look down towards the side as well with your eye line and neck. So you're going to imagine you've got it's a really nice visual because you can, as soon as you say it, it makes sense. Old school, you've got a sword down the side of you here and you're going to draw the sword. You draw the sword by gently pulling, imagining that you're pulling this imaginary sword out of your pocket across the chest line and you're sending it out towards the left side here, looking up towards the left side of you as well. Pop that sword back into your right pocket with a breath in, exhale, and up towards the left diagonal corner of your room, down towards the right with a breath in. So maybe feel a slight movement of the obliques, okay, just as you did a moment, that lateral flexion from the side to side, but we're getting a tiny bit of rotation as well through the chest. So heading up a little bit higher through the vertebrae with this rotation piece. Okay, last 2, reach to the side. Last 1, look down to the right and up to the left and bring your arm back to center. Taking the right hand now and down towards your left hip hand there. We're going to breathe in, exhale, grasp hold of your sword, sweep across your body, looking out towards the right top corner of your room, extend that right arm out and back down into your pocket on the left. Breathe in, exhale, and looking up towards the right, looking down towards the left, breathing in, exhale, feel that twist through the spine. Each time as you stretch towards the right, feel some space happening in the spine. So when you come back to the left to grab your sword, you maybe get a little bit more twist and range. We've got 2 more. And here's our final one, breathing in and exhale. Bring your hands back to the side. Well done. So right leg now sweeps out towards the right. Again, choosing where you feel is comfortable for you here on this right. Knee bent, toe facing forward, toe facing towards the corner. I don't mind. Okay. Righty, hands down by your sides. Again, find the side seam of the trousers. You can get yourself in the midline of the mat. And it's our left hand now just going to reach down towards the left thigh, left knee, left mat area. And then bring yourself back up, sending the right fingertips down the thigh to the right with a breath in. And exhale, fingertips towards the floor. And then we're all done. Breathing in as you transition. Exhale to the side. Last 2. And here's our final one. And this time we're going to just pause, sliding the fingers on the left down the side of your thigh and pause here. Reach through the leg, reach through the torso, reach through the crown of the head. Neck is aligned, still not dumping down, nice and in alignment. This right arm now is going to sweep forwards towards me up to the temple, and you're staying facing front. You're not looking down towards the mat. That's better, well done. And arm down by your side of the breath in. Exhale as you sweep this arm and isolate this shoulder. Well done with our movement. Okay, into an arm reach with a breath in by your thigh, exhale. Really still in the torso, guys. Okay, nice and growing through the spine. Okay, through the top of the head, we've got 3 more. And 2. And here's our final one. Gorgeous, well done. Draw your hands back as your knee comes underneath you. And we're into sitting. Okay, so folks, we're going to sit to begin with cross leg, if cross leg is comfortable for you. If it's not comfortable for you, excuse me, right, okay, new person in the class. Okay, sitting nice and comfortably. We're going to sit either cross legged if you want to sit like this, or you can have your legs out towards the front if you would rather. Totally up to you. On a block if you want to. We're not hanging out here too long. Just going to get a little weight off those knees. So your fingertips are going to be towards the front, okay? Elbows, therefore, are high, well, the same height as your shoulders, okay? And shoulders are down. Remember, little sandbags, just easing the shoulders back and down. Belly in. And you're going to breathe in and exhale as you send those elbows behind you, gently easing them back towards the back of the room. And your fingertips will finish pretty much towards the front. We're not looking to extend the arms out. They just finish forwards facing. Breath in, fingertips to the front. Exhale, pull those elbows behind you and shoulder blades together with a breath in. Exhale. Well done. Breathe in, fingertips center. Exhale. Well done. And down. Breathing in. Exhale. And down. Together, sorry. Breathing in. Exhale, squeeze. Last 2. And final 1. Pausing here with our fingertips towards the front. And what I want you to do now is remember where your elbows are and parallel to the shoulders. Just gently separate the fingertips so your fingers are facing forwards and elbows are now in alignment with your shoulders on your left and right, okay? We're just going to send our left hand now towards the ceiling and back down. Breathing in and our right hand to the ceiling and back down. Breathing in and repeat on the left and right. Well done. And lifting and lowering and lifting and lowering and lift and lower and final time lift and lower. Release the hands down by your sides. Okay, we're popping our elbows nicely tucked in by our waist and our hands are facing forwards if we're holding a tray. All right, your fingers are together, thumbs are out towards the side on your left and right. So the elbows are going to kind of stay where they are. They're not pulling in too desperately, but they've got an intention and a magnetism towards the side of your rib cage. Okay, so they're not going to fling out as I'm showing you now. They're going to stay tucked in fairly close. All right, and that will restrict your range slightly as you send your thumbs to the left and right. Okay, but that's okay. We're going to breathe into center, exhale, and follow the direction of your thumbs to the left and right with the palms heading towards the left and the right. Shoulder blades are gently drawing in together, but maybe a little bit lower down the base area of the shoulder blade there, and bring your hands towards the front with a breath in. Exhale, send those thumbs to the left and right. Now, I always find this one quite amazing, and every time I'm surprised. Some people have huge range before those elbows feel like they have to leave the body to get any further. Some people can just barely move the hands at all to the left and right, which is fine. We are all completely different. So if all you're doing is moving a small amount, don't feel that's wrong. Okay. If you are, however, getting super far away and you've got your elbows sliding to your sides, be a little bit suspicious too. Maybe you're a bit overzealous. Keep those shoulder blades pulling back and down as you exhale. Okay, well done. And last two. And final one. Exhale and bring those hands to center. Okay, into 4-point kneeling now, please, ladies and gentlemen. Your hands are going to be underneath your shoulders, and we are 4-point kneeling. Okay, I should say bring yourself to the front edge-ish of the mat, not too far, but making sure you're closer to the front than the back, okay? And we're going to tuck our toes under to begin with, okay? So your shoulder blades are back and down, belly is in, toes are tucked under, knees are hip width apart. Okay, so remember that they're not miles away, they're not also together, but they're a little bit closer perhaps than your hands would be. Okay, so your hands are shoulder width and hips generally slightly smaller will be a slightly narrower position. Toes tucked under. So we're going to breathe in and try and imagine ourselves staying really super still in our upper body as you just send your right leg away to the back of the mat, still toes tucked under, and just feel that kneecap just pulling just gently up towards the ceiling, that thigh bone, in the quadricep muscles at the front of the thigh bone there, just waking up, and then bring your knee underneath you where you're going to breathe in, exhale, and switch to the other side. Toes stay tucked under. Just want to get the sense of that lovely quadricep setting, so that engagement and contraction, switching side to side, guys, left and right. Just keep on going. That sense of the quadricep muscles, I say the front of the thigh bone really firing up, yeah, as you send that leg away behind you. And as that happens, maybe the tummy button just pulls in a little bit more, okay? Maybe you got that stretch to the front or the muscles deep in the pelvis. And as soon as those guys are stretching, you then have a natural response from the core as well to engage. Maybe a little bit more than when we point our toes. I don't know, maybe nothing to you, but see if that just resonates. We're going to take that right leg out. So if you regroup and leave the right leg out behind you, so your toes are tucked under. So in this 4-point kneeling position, just think about where you are now. This is the position you're going to think about trying to stay in for your plank. Okay, so the bottom doesn't head to the sky, it doesn't lower down to the floor, and all you're going to do is take the left leg out and meet the right leg. So you're now in this perfect plank position. Okay, next along, looking down towards the floor, shoulder blades back in. And I just want you to now lift your right leg and point your toe towards the back of the room, place it back down, and left leg. I'm just going to get you to do 2 more here before we modify. Okay, so see if you can push on through. Single leg lift, point toe, and single leg lift, point toe. Everyone let the knees float down towards the mat. Flatten your toenails onto the floor, or you'll flatten your feet, whatever visual works, and just push back into a child's pose or rest position for a second. Whatever comfortable position works for you guys. Okay, weight off the wrists if you need to, just a moment to rotate the wrists. Maybe have a little bit of stretch over the top of the wrist by tucking your fingernails under, whatever works for you. Just to pause here. Okay, so I'm fully appreciative that plank is quite a good piece, quite a big piece for some people. So there's loads and loads of options for you. All righty, we're going to do one more set of leg raises, but you've seen how big it can be and how much it can feel. So you can head into your triangle position. Perhaps that works for you and you want to plank here as I'm showing you now. Perhaps you think, well, it's not my wrists that's the issue, it's just too much. In which case, from 4-point kneeling, when we head into our plank, find the plank first and then float the knees down. And from there, you can still do your single leg raises. Okay, bring your knee in, single leg raise. All righty. So choose your position. I'm going to do the triangles, support the guys with the wrist issues. Okay, so I'm going to go for the triangles. Now I'm going to think about sending my right leg away behind me, and I'm going to go for the plank level. Okay, so I'm going to send my left leg away and I'm planking triangles. If you want to here now, guys, once you've got into your plank and you know that's too much, soften the knees down, as I said, and you can single leg stretch from here. Alternatively, we're going to breathe in, exhale, and now we're going to single leg stretch from plank and toe down. We're going to single leg stretch towards the ceiling and down. So it's a raise and it's a point. So you're stretching now through the front of the leg. We've just got 2 more. So if your knees floating towards the floor, you can just continue with sending your right leg out to the back and then the left leg. And then we're going to float our knees down, guys. And again, walk back into rest position or child's pose. So really firing up the glutes there with the leg lifts. Okay, a little bit of the hamstrings as well. Okay, well done. And then we're going to bring ourselves into our lying down position. Okay, so folks are going to lie down. Our knees are towards the ceiling and our legs are together. Okay, so let's go ahead and regroup. All righty, so you've got yourself lying down here. Feet are together, knees are together. Pop the hands behind the back of the head. So you're just going to rest around the skull area, not the neck. If you can, shoulder blades are back and down. Okay, first things first, I'm going to get you to take both knees out towards your right-hand side. And they're going to just go to their maximum range and stay there. Okay, so I don't mind if the feet slightly come out of alignment or the knees slightly come out of alignment, because I just want you to get that sense of the twist. Okay, this is a piece where they're just going to hang out here for a moment. All right, so if you're holding them in midair, just let them go to where they need to go. All right. Okay, so from here you're looking up towards the ceiling, perhaps with your gaze, and then you start to feel a bit of a movement through the rest of the spine towards the right. That is fine, because you're going to be working our left oblique muscles here down the side and the transverse abdominal muscles on the side of your body. Okay, so you're going to be breathing in when you're down. Exhale, tuck your chin into your chest and lift to look at that. Look, your head, neck, and shoulders lifting to look at that left hip, and down we go with a breath in. Exhale as you lift. So the head is fully supported, the neck is long. You're trying to think about looking probably to about 45 degrees. Don't be pulling that chin into your throat space, okay? Just keep that head supported, the neck is long as you lift and lower. Breathing in, exhale, lift and lower. We've got 4 more here, that's 4 and lower. As you breathe in, grow through the spine to get that length, and last 2, exhale as you lift. And final 1. And bring your head, neck, and shoulders down. Well done. Breathe in, and as you exhale, draw your legs back to center and align yourselves down the mat, feeling nice and comfortable, symmetrical. Alrighty, legs are together and over towards the left. Again, just letting them go out to where they want to go, maximum range, and just let them hang out there. Okay, so really, if you do need to move those legs and feel a little bit more comfortable with the legs, then please go ahead. Okay, so same thing on this side. You're going to breathe in, find space in the spine. Exhale, supporting the head, keeping the neck long, lifting to look at that right hip area-ish, and down. Now that does depend on your lift, okay? You might feel like you want to be looking just towards the ceiling and then maybe just drop the gaze slightly. Okay, so it doesn't have to be a huge lift. Exhale and lower. Breathing in as you exhale, you lift and down with a breath in. Exhale, lift. Last 2. And here's our final 1. And pausing down here. Release the hands with a breath in. Exhale, draw your knees towards the ceiling. And one more time, just regroup and align. Okay, fantastic. Go ahead and send those knees now towards the side of the mat. So you've got a wide frog leg position, feet are together. All righty. And hands are one more time behind the back of the head. Okay. So we're going to do our crisscross. It's going to be tricky with the knees out wide to get into your imprint, okay? But I want you to think about that belly button still pulling in towards the spine, okay? So you're still feeling like a nice and engaged through the core, even if you can't get into full imprint. The imprint will become a little bit easier when we go into our crisscross, but the main focus is that belly stays into spine. We're going to keep your legs where they are with a breath in, exhale. We're going to lift our left shoulder blade, roll onto the right shoulder blade, and try and keep those knees fairly quiet and still. Okay, so you're not rolling onto those knees, they're staying fairly parallel with the hips and pelvis towards the ceiling, and come back down to center with a breath in. Exhale, lift your right shoulder blade, roll onto the left. And come back down with a breath in. Exhale. So this is the crisscross upper body. Okay. Perhaps engage a little bit more in the belly button and the pelvic floor area with these legs wide. They may come in a little bit easier, may make you feel like they're a bit more, it makes more sense to pull up the pelvic floor and the tummy button in this wide leg position. Head is still long and supported with the hands. I can't say that enough. You're still using the core to lift you, not the neck and the head. Use your core, use your twist, use your obliques. Last two. And final one. And pause, head, neck and shoulders down on the mat. Pop your hands now to the sides of you, support the sides of your thighs as you bring your knees back together. And now find a little bit more imprint, okay, a little bit easier, right? A little bit more squish down of that lower back, belly button in, hands down by your side, okay. Bring your right knee into tabletop, breathe in, exhale, left leg also into tabletop. And they're gonna hang out here for a moment. There is a space between the knees, so it's hip width apart, and also the same distance between the feet. So the feet aren't wide or together in knees, so it is the same. Same hip width, knee width, feet width. Press down in that belly button. We're gonna go into our full crisscross. Hands by the side of your head. Okay, taking the left shoulder blade, we're peeling the left shoulder blade off the mat, rolling onto the right shoulder blade. Let your left leg reach now to 45 degrees away across to the other side of the room at the end of your mat. Bring your legs back into tabletop, lower the shoulder blades down. Breathing in, lift your right shoulder blade, look over to the left and send your right leg away. Bring your right knee in, right shoulder blade down. Lift your left shoulder blade, extend your left leg back into tabletop and body down. Right shoulder blade lift, right leg extends and back down. And one more time slowly. Now we're going to speed this up for 8. Are you ready? Let's go. So that's 8 and center and 7 and center and 6 and center and 5. We've got 4 more. That's 4. If you want to rest anytime or just take out the leg, you're more than welcome. This is 1 more either side. And here's our final one. Bring your head, neck and shoulders down, knees into your chest. Take the weight off the hip flexors and core. And breathe as you regroup. And when you're ready, place your feet back down on the mat. Gorgeous. Well done, guys. All righty. So we're going to head into our double leg stretch, but it's going to be a slightly modified version. All righty. So this week, we're going to think about, again, being an imprint. And head, neck, and shoulders are also supported with the hands. Okay, lots of support. Okay, into tabletop. Let's start with the left leg this time, drawing into tabletop, breathing in, and check your imprint. Left leg comes in into tabletop. Now we are going to pop those knees and feet together, okay, to begin with. So first thing is glue everything together. Now I'm going to get you to flex at the ankles so your toes are facing up towards the ceiling. Now I would like you to send your knees wide, and as they do so and they peel wide, your heels will stay together, but your toes will separate. So you've got kind of a V shape at the toes. You've got your heels together, knees are wide, and draw those knees slightly in towards you without the heels separating. Okay, it might not be any distance at all. It might be you can get them quite far in. So it's almost like those heels are pulling in towards your bottom space, okay? From here, we're going to breathe in, exhale, send those legs away to 45 degrees. Toes stay in a V, slip the legs together. Breathe in, knees into your chest or rib cage with a breath in, and exhale, send those legs away. Okay, if this is just not for you, okay, there's a couple of modifications you can do. Perhaps you can send those legs a bit higher towards the ceiling and zip. The legs will come in parallel, but that's okay. Okay, so you're still working on zipping those legs maybe slightly higher. Perhaps you want to just work on sending one leg into extension and back to heel together, one leg into extension and back with your heels together. Modify, modify, modify. If you want to take it up a level, conversely lifting the head, neck, and shoulders, we're going to stay with the head elevated and the core engaged as you exhale, and we're all extending for 4 more. Choosing your level, that's 3. Breathe in, exhale 2, and final 1. And then bring your head, neck, and shoulders down, knees together, place 1 foot down on the mat and the other joining as well. Alrighty, bring those knees into your chest. Small little rock from side to side, or circles if you'd rather. Okay, just gentle circles. Okay. Alrighty. So folks, placing your feet back down, I want you to put your elbows by your sides and your hands towards the ceiling. Okay, so you made a right angle at the elbow and make fists at these hands. Okay, so it just kind of gives you the intention to really focus on the forearm and the elbow, which I want you to pin into the mat. Tuck your chin into your throat space. That's kind of critical, okay? So you've got a bit of length at the back, not to the point where you're lifting your head at all, but just engage it, okay? Engage that chin towards the throat space, conscious awareness that it's not thrown back, okay? All right, elbows are pressing into the mat. Feel the elbows pressing in. You'll need them, yeah, because you need them to find some lift in a minute. So yeah, don't just pass this one over. Get those elbows and press them down. Okay, imprint. I want you to now push your lower back into the mat as if you're squashing that Malteser completely down. And perhaps in doing that, you might start to feel there's a kind of weightlessness at the lower part of your bottom cheeks. I want you to embrace that weightlessness at the bottom cheeks and maybe see if you can just lift them 2 or 3 or 4 millimeters off the floor. So if I came along now with a small piece of A4 paper, I could slide it perfectly under those bottom cheeks, okay, but no higher. I would be stopping where your lower lumbar spine is on the mat, and I wouldn't be able to get there because you're connected, okay? So lower lumbar spine is down, the bottom cheeks are slightly floating and hovering by literally 5 millimeters, okay? So from here, press into the elbows, press into your lower spine. We're going to breathe in, exhale, send your right leg away towards the end of the mat and reach. Now we're talking a very low, long leg hover. Feel everything skimming the surface of the mat and then bring your leg back in, still hovering with the bottom cheeks. Breathe in, left leg, reach and stretch. Skim the mat, reach that leg long and back in. Lower back imprint still, guys. Remember that Malteser is super flat, but you're feeling nice and just weightless in the pelvis and under the bottom as you single leg stretch away and back in. Use those elbows, use that tummy as you single leg stretch. And last time. And pause. Let the lower body just relax onto the mat. Let yourself find your neutral spine and pelvis and relax the arms for a moment. Okay, so we're going to do one more set. If you're finding this is really tiresome or struggling for you technically, or in some part of you, the back or the legs don't enjoy that, this time you can just pause, okay? You can just be neutral spine and perhaps send your leg away to 45 degrees. All right, that is fine. And you can have that bottom and tailbone on the mat, no problem. Otherwise, step into those elbows one more time. Into imprint, really pressing down to the point where you feel like you slightly tilt the pelvis, okay? And then from that tilt to the pelvis, just slightly hovering the bottom cheeks off the floor. We are pressing back into the elbows in case they've just got off the to-do list, and send your right leg away and pause. You're hovering across the surface of the mat, just barely lifted. We're going to breathe in, and that's important, guys. Okay, barely, to the point where almost when you talk or wiggle jiggle, you touch the mat slightly. Okay, you're that close. Now send that leg to the right corner of the mat and back in, and to the right corner and back in. So repeating on the right, just send it to the right corner and back in. It's a tiny move. Again, as you head to the side, you might just help skip and scratch the surface of the mat. That is fine, but your bottom cheeks are still slightly glued together and lifted. The lower back pressing on the mat. Feel that belly button engaged. And then last time, drawing that leg back in. Relax the lower back down. Just relax everything for a second. Okay, when you're ready, press into the elbows. If you're choosing not to, stay with the tailbone down. If you're choosing to elevate, press into the lower spine, slightly tilt the pelvis. Feel that lovely lift of the buttock cheeks a tiny bit off the floor, and left leg extends. Again, noticing that you really are just skimming and skipping on that top of the mat area there. Breath in, exhale, and slightly to the left side and back in. Breathing into center, exhale to the side and back in. Again, you should be just skipping, skittering across the top of the surface of the mat as you head to the side and back in. Feeling that core strong, because that's trying to make the bottom stay, the pelvis stay stable, but also that back on the mat and your bottom just hovering by a piece of paper off the floor. We've got 2 more. And here's our final one, guys. Skimming to the side and back in, and draw your leg back into the start position and relax the lower body. Bring your knees into your chest. Well done, fantastic work. Okay, so from here we're going to roll onto our tummies. Okay, so rolling over onto our tummies. Alrighty, so we're going to start with our double leg kick preparation. Alrighty, so your hands are down by your lower spine, just clasped over the above the bottom area, and let the elbows just relax and hang heavy by your side. Glue those legs together for me if you can. Okay, so there's a bit of energy bringing your legs together. You might feel it perhaps in the knee joint, maybe around the heel or ankle, perhaps in the inner thigh area, and response in the glutes as you do this squeeze. First things first, what I want you to do is just gently breathe in and exhale as you draw your legs slightly off the mat. And it's that feeling of not lifting them really, but just lengthening them. Okay, so you're kind of resting on the front edge of your thigh bones here. So I'm not looking for you to get a big glute activation, but it's an engagement of the thighs, a lengthening of the legs through the back of the toes down the bottom of the mat there. And we're going to just pause with those legs. Again, it's that sense of engaging and lengthening, but this time focusing on the back area. So they are going to hang out there for a moment. Now we're going to just gently slide the hands up towards the rib cage, and still the elbows are down, resting towards your mat either side of you. With a breath in, I want you to exhale now and slide the hands back down towards your bottom, and pull the shoulder blades together, and forehead and nose float off the mat. Legs stay exactly where they are. Now we're going to pop the head, neck and shoulders down, slide the hands back up to your rib cage, elbows rest for a breath in, legs are still where they are, breathing in, exhale, forehead, nose float, slide the hands down, roll the shoulders back, straighten the arms. You've got 2 more. Draw the hands back up to the rib cage, head and nose down, elbows rest by your side of the breath in. Exhale as you nose float and forehead float, shoulder roll back and straighten the arms. Last one, breath in. Keep going with those legs. They're long, just not thinking of being in the back, the lower back. They are simply long as you lift your head and nose, stretch those arms, shoulders back, and then everything comes back up and rests down on the floor. Arms by your side, turn your cheek towards the side as well. Pausing here. Okay. Alrighty, from here, I want you to just pause your head towards the side, pause with your hands by your sides as well. And now your legs have had a little tiny mini rest, bring them back together. Gluing them together with intention. Again, lift the legs and find that nice control through length, not through height. Through length, belly in, thighs are active and they are long. We are thinking now about breathing in and exhaling as we draw those feet towards your bottom. Keep the knees together and pulse for 3. 1, 2, 3. Send those legs away and reach them nice and long. We're just going to practice breathing in, exhale, knees together, heels together as you pulse for 3 and send those legs away. Breathing in, exhale, knees stay together as you pulse for 3, 2, 3, and away. Breathing in, exhale, and pulse for 3. Send the legs away and pause. This time, turn your face towards the other way, please, for me. Just let that neck have a stretch. Arms are resting by your sides. Breathing in, legs are still long and hovering. Exhale, keep the knees together as you pulse for 3, heels to bum. Send the legs away with a hover breath in, and pulse for 3 to the bum. Exhale for 3. Breathe in as you lengthen those legs. Exhale for 3 pulses, 2, 3, and away, breath in. Exhale for 3, 2, 1. Pause with those legs out and resting for a moment. Okay. Well done, guys. Pop the hands now in front of you, one on top of the other, and hands are under your forehead. Widen the legs slightly, folks. Okay, so they're just a little bit wider, perhaps on the inside edge of your mat. Okay, so if you need to, just have a feel around. Can you feel the inside edge of the mat? Yeah, that is where those legs are going to rest. Okay, that is as wide as I want them to be. Shoulder blades are back and down, belly is in. So we're going to head into our diamond press, working a back extension. So we've got a nice bit of length there, working on the dart there, the dart preparation, I beg on the double leg kick preparation we've just done. So still channel that lengthening of the legs. The breathing in then is so when you're down, you exhale as you gently forehead and nose float off the mat. The elbows stay down, but maybe you need to adjust as you lift. Perhaps you want to think about shoulder blades pulling down, but the forehead and crown pulling forwards. Yes, so you've still got that sense of grounded and anchored in the legs as you lift. Pull forward with your forehead, crown of the head, and sense that space you're creating in the lower spine. It's a lovely opportunity to really stretch out the top of the head, but with a bit of resistance. The digging in of the elbows and forearms into the mat will help you find that kind of purchase against which to pull. And we're going to pause with this next time elevated. Okay, so that might be enough for some of you guys. Okay, you might find you just want to stay here, okay, as your maximum range. We're all going to lift our head, neck, and beg your pardon, our forehead and nose, and gaze towards the front of the mat room. And that might be enough, okay, for some of you. That might be just enough for you this morning, in which case just lower your gaze and head back down and repeat. Otherwise, we're going to continue by lifting our elbows and pressing into the hands. The hands stay down and elbows are straightening. Try not to, and try to avoid this, okay? The shoulders come up to your ears. The other thing people tend to do is just go to this kind of push-up position where you've not really got the arch in the back. You're kind of taking the weight in the arms. I want you to feel like you've got the arch happening in the back. As you come back down, imagine the belly button plopping down first. Think of the spine release, not about the arms. Coming back down, head, neck, and shoulders onto the mat. So we'll do that one more time together. Breathing in, go ahead and forehead, nose float. Pull forwards, find the space in the spine. Lift your gaze. If that's enough for you guys, complete release back down, and that's go for repeat. Otherwise, lift the elbows. Keeping on lifting the arched back, chest pushing through the arms, legs are wide and relaxed, and then releasing back down. We're going to do 4 more. Breathing in, exhale. Breathing in on the way back down, each time trying to plop the vertebrae down slightly in front of how forwards they were the last time. And imagine yourself just each time coming a little bit forwards, a little bit longer through the spine. And then we're going to pause down here. Everybody regroup, pausing down. Okay, as I said, our legs are wide. I want you to just relax the shoulder blades. Belly button is still in slightly as well, but you're going to just single leg lift. So one straight leg lift and reach that leg nice and long. Once you've achieved the lift, just pause and stretch, okay? So just lift and then pause and reach. Okay, that's important because you'll feel the response. The difference between just a lift and a reach is huge. Yeah, breathing in, lift and reach. Now, if your back's getting a bit tired, it's not a huge fan of this back work, maybe stay with the singles. Perhaps you feel like you've got to a point where you can really control the core, you can really pull down with the shoulder blades, you can take weight off the lower lumbar spine, you've got strong enough glutes to double leg lift. Please be conscious and aware that a double leg lift is a big old weight, okay? So I can only recommend it if you feel like you've got no lower back issues and you can take a lot of strength by pulling down those shoulder blades, okay? If you feel like as you're double leg lifting, all you're doing is pulling down into that lower back space, all right, then I need you to go back to singles. Last one. And pause there. Okay. So we're going to add on, just gently popping our hands into a different position by popping into Sphinx. So this is going to give everyone a nice bit of support with the upper back, okay? So you can still look down towards the mat if you wish, okay? If you're still a little bit unhappy with the idea of extension, elbows are down, shoulder blades are back. You're looking down towards the mat if you wish, but we can all please have a think about bringing the belly button slightly off the mat. So you're not dumped down, you're thinking of that belly button slightly pulling down, and then if you feel comfortable, lift your gaze and you're prepared and supported in that lower back. Okay, so from here, what I'd like you to do is just simply lift your right elbow off the mat and gently twist to the side and back down, breathing in. Exhale, left elbow and down. So it's a single elbow raise. It might be a small float off the mat. It might be into full arm extension. You're feeling the shoulder blades pulling slightly down. Okay, legs are still wide and relaxed. As you single arm lift, hands stay down, single elbow lift, and lower, and lift, and lower. Last one, and pause here, gorgeous. From here, we're going to see if we can take our hands now into single arm extension. First of all, we're going to work on a simple slide. Left hand to begin with. Okay, so breathe in, exhale, left hand is going to slide forwards and back in. Breathe in, right arm slides forwards and back in. Now, if you're feeling again that this is just not something that's good for you, okay, adjust your range of motion. The big deal is lifting the elbow as you slide, because you just shift your weight onto one arm. So perhaps you just want to not actually move that hand very far forwards, sorry, not lifting the elbow, but just sliding the whole of the forearm forwards, okay, as I'm showing you now. So the elbow never lifts, okay, but you will still feel that shift of weight from side to side in the lower back. Okay, otherwise we're lifting the elbow, single arm straightening. And this last one, making it your last. Pausing here and bring your elbows wide, head, neck and shoulders down. Bring your legs together, folks. Well done. Okay, what I'd like you to do is bring your bend your left leg and bring your left heel in towards your bottom. We're going to go ahead and have a bit of a quadricep stretch, which means reaching around to see if you can find your foot, your heel, your ankle on this left side. Perhaps you may need to grab hold of your clothing. If that's something that's you can't quite grab hold of the foot, grab hold of the clothing and draw that leg in that way. If you really struggle with that, you can sideline do this piece. Okay, so on your side, you'll be doing the same thing, but that might give you a chance to get a little bit closer, or you can see what you're grabbing hold of at least. Okay, maybe a little bit less in the lower back, because you can move your upper body. Okay, so it's just a pause and hold, which is lucky because I'm blabbering on. And in this position, you can either just pause and hold where you are, because that stretch might be enough for you, or perhaps you can think about just gently tilting the pelvis. Okay, so you're almost trying to think about pressing the pelvis and hips into the mat. Or perhaps you can even press that foot against the hand. Okay, so you've got a really powerful stretch going on there. If you're doing that press into the hand, just release once or twice and then press again. Just don't hold that press in entirety for the whole time. Okay, just press and release. And if you are choosing that option, maybe one more time, press and release and pausing down. We're going to switch to the other side. So maybe there'll be a completely different story on this side. So reaching around to hold your right foot or the other foot, keeping the knees fairly close. I didn't say that last time, I don't think. So keeping the knees fairly close if you can, once you've got that foot. And again, maybe just the hold is enough for you. Again, you might want to modify and lie on the side. That's fine. And when you're here and you feel like you've just kind of got that first relaxation, or you feel like, yeah, okay, this is not too awful, perhaps push the hips into the floor a bit. Maybe just slightly just tilt that pelvis forwards. And again, maybe just press that foot into the hand. Okay, using that arm as resistance, just press the foot into the hand and release. And we've got 2 more if you're doing the press and release, or just 2 more breaths in and out. And pausing, let that leg release back down. Well done. Popping your toes under, tucking them under, popping your hands by your shoulders. popping into 4-point kneeling for me. Okay, we're going to just gently take ourselves into cat and cow stretch. So popping the heels of the hands, pressing them into the floor, press the shins down, lift the mid-spine to the ceiling, tuck your tailbone under, see if you can get that rib cage as high up towards the ceiling as possible, lifting the mid-spine as well. When you're ready, breathe in, exhale, lower the rib cage through the arms now, the belly button down, looking forwards, push the tailbone away. Breath in and exhale, lift up towards the ceiling. And down. Well done, gorgeous. Pausing here, taking your right heel towards your right bottom cheek. Knee stays down on the right there, but you're just going to take the heel and point towards your left bottom cheek. So you swiveled the heel towards your left bottom cheek, look over your left shoulder, foot wag the tail, and a stretch down the side of the body. We're just going to do 2 of these quickly. Pause back into center, left heel to left bottom, over towards your right bottom, look over your right shoulder, and breathe. Well done. Bring yourself back to center. Tuck your toes under. Walk your hands slightly forwards. If you don't want to V-stretch to come into standing, just push back into a small ball by walking your hands to your knees. If not, lift the kneecaps and lift up into a stretch of those hamstrings. The heels are slightly easing down towards the mat, not to the point where you're pulling them for dear life. Okay, so gentle pull down. Hands are pressing into the thumb and first finger. And we're all going to lift up onto the toes if you are there. Stretch those legs, push the bottom as high as you can towards the ceiling, and then release the heels back down. Walk the hands towards your toes, so you too can now think about easing the heels towards the floor and rolling up. If you're in standing, just pause and hold on for us. We're coming. Walk those hands up your thighs. Gently restart the spine into the center of the mat. Well done. Bring yourselves to center, feet in parallel. Bend the knees towards the floor, just gentle lateral flexion towards the right, and arm sweeps overhead. We'll let the right hand come underneath you so you've got them in opposite directions. Well done. Stay low with the knees, so we're stretching the calves. And then we're going to pause and reach our right hand towards the left side of you, lateral flexion. Left arm sweeps underneath to complete the reach. Knees stay pulling down. Look out towards the front if you can. That's better. Well done. And arms come down by our side, legs in straight standing position. Sweep the arms towards the ceiling, turn the palms away. Press the air down by your sides and lift if you can through the crown of the head. A little bit more weight in the heels for me, breathing in. Well done. Turn palms away and press the air down by your sides. Take your breath, your final breath in. Exhale. And folks, we are done. Thank you for being with me today. I hope you enjoyed that slightly more contemporary twist on Pilates, and I hope to see you all again very soon. Bye-bye for now. Bye-bye.